Hello friends! Today's video is quite a bit different from my usual travel vlogs because not only was I traveling during a pandemic, being as safe as possible obviously, but I actually moved cross country during this pandemic. So not only is this kind of vlog style, but also a composed list of my tips for moving, just in general, but more so during a pandemic, as safely and as cheap as possible, because you know your girl's a cheap ass hoe. So let's rewind a little bit to longer ago than I even care to admit, when I bought some of these shoe drawers. Let's face it, many of these shoe drawers for my makeup collection. This was a better option than the Alex drawers I currently had because 1, I was outgrowing them, 2, these drawers actually made it so much easier to see what I had readily available, and 3, they were quite a bit easier to pack than the 9-drawer Alex drawers unit I was using prior. These are a bit more costly, but in my eyes they were definitely worth it and perfect. That almost rhymed. Plus they are stackable, which is a bonus. So I ordered those, they showed up, and the rest was just figuring out what products to go in where. This, you see, is why I was going through all my makeup in my makeup declutters, which I will link below if you are interested. I didn't show this, but perhaps in a future video, but I did label them all with a vintage style label maker. You guys know the one. If you know, you know. And was it ever satisfying? Once I had the smaller items all taken care of, I moved on to the bigger items, i.e. the bigger palettes, my custom colored and styled wigs, and some special effects stuff. Blood, gore, you know the drill. This leads me to my first actual tip, and that is going to be to not buy boxes or bubble wrap from a store, but instead hit up stores like Lowe's, Canadian Tire, Home Depot, etc. that will be throwing away thousands, if not more, boxes every single day due to stock, and constantly tossing bubble wrap and other materials used for packing fragile items, and you can get them for free. Like, they just usually want to just get rid of them completely. Second tip is to use a box to its full potential. Yes, you can pack fragile things in a box, but I definitely recommend putting all fragile things into one box and just making it super packed, but like with bubble wrap, and labeling it as such. And the rest, if you are using a box, fill it to the tippy top. I even end up pushing the sides together with my legs in most cases to take advantage of any and all space. My third tip is to label everything. If something is fragile, has a specific side that needs to be facing up, etc., mark it as such. Any useful information should be written on the box. I also write down what's in the box, more or less, like Halloween stuff, I'd put Halloween stuff, etc. That was like, duh, right? So future me doesn't have to run rampant trying to figure out what exactly is in what box and where that box should go. My fourth tip is to put alike items together, which sounds obvious, but I mean anything that's related at all. Any glassware, same box. Wigs and costumes, same box. Hair dye and heat tools, same box. Tip number 5, take advantage of the soft. AKA if you have blankets, wrap up breakable objects in those. You're saving space and creating a shock resistant barrier around that object. Now enough of hearing me talk, I'm leaving you to deal with Pass With Me to see me struggle the absolute most, taking down a backdrop system. This was some acrobatic ass shit. Yes, that was my head clunking and me pretending it didn't because I didn't think the camera actually picked it up. Oh my god. Because I was not the one to actually put these in, I was unaware that they were being held up by drywall anchors, so this took me a while to realize, and I felt really stupid. Ended up having to leave them in anyways. Oh my god. And because I was constantly running around and trying to like put myself in different positions to be able to do this, I was getting really hot, so the light above me was just baking me to death. Fucking boob light. But I ended up turning that one off. Though I wish I had just gotten rid of it altogether because, well... there. So glad I caught that on tape. Okay. Okay. Those were so much harder to get off than I thought they'd be. It's not even focusing. It's not even focusing. Close enough. And the boob. The boob that everybody knows. With really heavy or breakable objects, I placed EVA foam mats as well as some foam from my vintage style chair DIY. That leads me to tip number 6. Wrap everything in saran wrap. I taped a lot of my belongings together and saran wrap basically everything. It keeps it contained, more durable, and waterproof if the occasion calls for it. All of the tape in the saran wrap I was able to get at the dollar store, so it was very inexpensive. Honestly, let's make that tip 7. Purchase as much as possible from the dollar store, including these vacuum sealed bags or the equivalent. I even tried one from Amazon, but I just wasn't a fan of it. The vacuum just didn't work at all, so I returned it and stuck with my dollar store ones. Tip number 8. Sell off what you can. I was able to make a decent chunk of change by selling off some of the items I knew I didn't care to bring with me. Just stay safe with this, obviously. I was doing basically curbside pickups at this point, and payment through either e-transfers or paid by cash in a Ziploc bag. Wearing masks, gloves, and such when needed. Tip number 9 is donate what you can. For me, it was mostly makeup and skincare, all unused of course. I was able to get a hold of a local women's shelter and provide them with quite a few bags of donations in exchange for them to pick them up. Sorry, I was okay. Yeah. So I've got multiple bags here and they're a little bit heavy, so just yeah, this is the last one. I'm not sure if I would actually consider this a tip, just because it's another way of folding clothing, but I've worked retail for basically my entire life, at least so far. And one of those jobs included a clothing store, which is how I learned to fold clothing to make it take up the least amount of space, thereby, fitting the most amount possible within a smaller space. Which is for a shirt, folding the arms in, splicing it half hamburger style, flipping it over to the back side, and then rolling it up. It's also, if done properly and not in a fit of rage, makes them look pretty professional, with the addition of being able to see the front graphic, which helps me, in like a pool of just black clothing, which one is which. In continuation from the talk about the dollar store purchases, I got this baby from the dollar store. For those of you not watching and only listening, this is not an actual baby. It's a mesh bag that you can place your delicates in to wash them. Tip 10 or 11, depending on if you consider the folding laundry a tip or not, rent a U-box. Plan is to go over there. These are big boy boxes from U-Haul, which I found to be the cheapest option to get my stuff cross country. It's still a little bit pricey, like a lot of bit pricey, but it's the lesser of two evils, basically. And this is, I assume, where it opens up on here?
Yeah. We'll just open. So I'll show you the other one too. Yeah. Oh, you can get in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah? So this one is easier. Just right here on the side.
Okay.
Open and close.
And then the...
Just put your lock right here.
Oh, that's a lot easier.
Yes. Alright, that's it. So blankets, if you need them, use them to wrap your stuff. If you have extra space, just cram them in. If you don't need them, they're in the way and you don't use the front box, just throw them in there.
Alright, perfect.
Okay, if you do have to use them both, but they're not full, make sure that they are flat across.
Yeah, so nothing comes tumbling down.
Exactly, you got it. So in case it rains, when you close them, I can close them now both if you want. If you just make sure that that top flap is out. So if you close it fast, it pushes it out for you. And then when you close this,
Completely waterproof? Or water resistant?
this is waterproof.
Okay.
As long as you don't leave it open. Some people will close this part and leave this open. The water's just draining inside.
Okay.
So if you guys use it, these flaps just go down. These are not attached to there, so don't worry about it. This moves so that if the box shifts, you can still close it.
Okay.
And these just turn. So basically, if you use it, just make sure your lock is on it. I can do the rest.
It's a hard life being so short, hey?
I agree with
Jump for everything. Thank you.
Okay?
You have a good day.
You too.
And I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
There are multiple add-ons that you can put onto your U-Box order, like these blankets, for example, or locks, etc., etc. The only add-on I opted for were these blankets because they are 100% biodegradable, and they were definitely going to be helping out in the process. You can request packing help from professional movers, so my cheap ass said that I could do it myself. Well, let's say get by with a little help from my friends. Say goodbye to all your loved ones. Bye, baby. Bye, baby. You can do this at any time, but I prefer after I finish all the hard work off. Get ready for your damn day finally. I ended up getting my ass a hotel room for the night and caught up on some work, TV shows, and other things, of course. God damn it. And watching planes fly overhead. Off to the airport I went. Stay safe, kids. Wear a mask. Always tip your drivers. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Especially at 3 a.m. because they've definitely dealt with a lot already. Decided to keep this clip in because it was me accidentally popping a wheelie. And through the x-ray we go. Honestly, I thought this would be a lot cooler to watch, but it really wasn't. Thought it'd be kind of a wild ride, but it was very lackluster. Please excuse the hair. This is not a tip, but something I wanted to mention because it was really cool to swing past it. For anyone arriving and or leaving YVR Airport, aka Vancouver Airport, they've actually got Disney stands up the wazoo. That was a weird sentence. All these little display cases full of timeless Disney character figurines and such. And away we go. Funny little story is, as soon as I actually got into the airport, I realized that they weren't letting anybody in from the outside. That's why the entire thing is empty. I was confused. Tip number, I lost count, is to do something different with your luggage. Years ago, I was introduced to the art of putting your initial on your luggage with white tape, or any kind of tape that is a contrasting color. I've also achieved this with an X because X marks a spot and I just can remember that, and I also take a picture of it with my phone so I can reference it just in case the tape comes off, which has happened a couple times. As well as a strip of the same tape on the handle. That way there's two different identification pieces, and I mean, it's your initial, come on. Once you've reached your new home, but still have to quarantine for 2 weeks, time to put your luggage away. And make some new friends.
And then from Vancouver to Kelowna for 146
No! Oh, it's so dark out here, it doesn't even appear on camera. Damn it, it's so beautiful.